has the honor of knowing a guy that most probably will be honored in the future as one of the people that change not only integrative medicine, because truly, if we see it, this is not integrative medicine. This is a very peculiar medicine where a product that is natural can treat a lot of things. And we will talk about that, and I will talk about what the nutraceutic is and so on and so forth. Be sure that um, we, um, we talk as much as possible about things that are very important, and I will tell you what is important also for me. As you see, I am very devoted. I am not a pediatrician because kids get sick. If kids will not get sick, I will be a pediatrician. When I was in the pediatric ward in Argentina, we have three pediatrics 1, 2, and 3 as students. I decide not to be a pediatrician because they get sick, they get diseases, and they die. And it's something that is very difficult for me. Then this started first in Spanish. I present this, Changing the World for Children with Autism, in Santander, Spain. And I was the one who wrote the prologue of this book, that is Autism, How to Start. And I was always, like most of you and most of the parents of people with autism, are always thinking, how can I make my kid happy? This will be a talk that we will discuss how to make your kid happy. Because really, until now, we know something, but until the randomized double-blind study that was done in Florida, we didn't have the certainty that immunocal treats autism. And that will be all the talk.
Healthcast today, new research here in South Florida is helping children with autism. It's a growing problem affecting 1 out of every 68 children in the United States. Our health specialist, Christy Kruger, has more now on how researchers are testing some natural treatment options.
The diagnosis of autism is life-changing for both children and their parents. After the initial shock, many parents go into overdrive, looking for treatments.
This is a condition that's trial and error. If it works, great. If it's not working, you find something else and you keep going until you find something that works.
Lizette Costa's son Alexander was diagnosed with autism when he was just 2. She's tried all types of therapy to help him.
Every single day after school, and we've done speech therapy, we've done hippotherapy, riding the horses, we've done ABA, feeding therapy.
Now Lizette is trying protein supplements. Alexander is part of a double-blind study at Nova Southeastern University, testing a cysteine-rich whey supplement to boost blood levels of glutathione, which is a major antioxidant in your body.
Good job.
Studies have shown that kids on the autism spectrum lack vitamin B12. Researchers want to see if building the level of glutathione will help children behaviorally and socially.
A significant proportion of kids with autism have a deficient antioxidant capacity. So they're not able to fight free radicals from the environment.
Dr. Anna Marie Costajon and Dr. Richard Deeth have both been working on this study for nearly 5 years. They're looking for treatments other than prescription medications.
So if something goes wrong with vitamin B12 in the brain, for example, you'll have developmental problems that will manifest themselves as brain disorders.
Lizette mixes the powder with Alexander's food every day. She believes the protein supplement does make a difference.
My son is verbal, my son is compliant, my son can read, my son can add, he plays games. This is all new. He didn't do any of this before.
Now, for the remaining year of this study, researchers will test the blood levels for glutathione and then use behavioral measures to see if that protein powder is truly effective. With your HealthCast, I'm Christy Kruger, Local 10 News.
And all talk this is a precursor of glutathione. We know that increasing the KRR, and Sandy will have this, and Jorge Guaman will have this, everybody will have it, but there's a lot of data about it. When I start this in 2016, I have this. I researched the literature, and the literature was very clear. This review of literature was done in 2012. And at that time, it's related to glutathione and autism. And at that time, it was clear that the current literature suggests an imbalance of oxidative and antioxidative stress system in autism. Glutathione is involved in neuroprotection against oxidative stress and neuroinflammation in autism by improving the antioxidative stress system. It means it's an antioxidative. It allowed to increase the glutathione, and then you deoxidize the cell that genes and perhaps some other things from the environment produce. And it already says decreasing the oxidative stress might be a potential treatment for autism. And I was fighting several years, talking with pediatricians and neurologists. But in 2021, it appears in Frontiers of Psychiatry, this study. And the study clearly says it's a randomized, double-blind, controlled study. No one can say that this study is not clear. There's not too many people. It's 46 preschoolers. The double-blind, the randomized, the placebo-controlled. There's a group that has placebo that looks like the same powder against immunocap. When comparison, the magnitude of changes, significant behavioral improvements with medium to large effect sizes were observed in children, behavioral adaptive skills in the cysteine-rich whey protein group. This is definite. And more, they state that this intervention group, the socialization it was better, the domestic daily living skills were better, the maladaptive behavior domain was better. These is significant improvements. And here you are. And if there's a pediatrician, he would say, well, I want a study of 1,000 kids. And the key says, why? Because in both the PDR and the CPD in Canada, both says that the only contraindication to immunocal is somebody that is allergic to the proteins of the cow milk. And the only side effect is if you do not shake it well. And in 24 years that has been in the market, has been no question about overdose. There's no overdose. Why I will wait for a big study when this has to be used by all the kids, especially the autists? This is what happened with the patent. This is a patent from the United States to Immunotech, where it says, oops, it has now been found the treatment with a compound with a composition comprising whey protein isolate and or whey protein concentrate can be used to treat autism in the subject in need, and makes the this peculiar thing that says, such as immunocal, cannot be the whey protein that my kids buy in Costco or in Walmart. Because all the others I made, they denaturalize the proteins that the milk has. Milk, just the same like the breast milk, you cannot heat it because you denaturalize the proteins. And you will say, well, what do I have to do? Well, call the person that invites you in favor of the people. Oh, sorry, Marie Taki?
Marie's had her hand up for a long time, Dr.
Oh, I'm
Scholcoff.
sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, Marie, we get enthusiastic in discussion.
Where is Marie? Marie, ask your question, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Eduardo Scholcoff and everybody who organized this. Unfortunately, the person who invited me is not here. I tried to find her. I'm very thankful that I have access to this information. I have a grandson who is 17 years old with autism, and everything else has failed so far. And I'm very hopeful that this can be like, you know, God's hand toward us, because we've been very, very, you know, anxious and very looking for a solution. Now, I follow the presentation, but I don't know exactly what is the name of the treatment and where I can find it. Because I hear
Who
something like,
invite you? Who invite you here?
her name is Nidia. It's one of my very old friends. She knows that we have a grandson who has autism, so she sent it to us.
Call her. If not, Sandy will help. Are you in Canada?
No, New York.
In New York?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's a nice city, and cheap city. But call your friend that invites you. She will or sign you up in the company. You can be a client.
Okay.
The company, you can means I research it more. Sandy probably knows, but most of the people do not know that the company used to be in the stocks of Montreal. Because before I sign up, I research the company because I have a name. Then when I search how they make it, where they make it, where are they, and so on and so forth. And it's very strong. It's not a company that has been up and down. Then for me, it was very, very important. Then call the person that invites you is called Immunocal, and this will check. Do not forget to do this 1-2 minute video, because it's the one that you will show. The pediatrician still, if you are not a doctor, will look at you and say, what do you know? Well, you know who introduced me to Immunocal? My wife. She's not a doctor. She's not a pharmacist. She told me that everybody has to use Immunocal. And when I researched it, Immunocal has papers about getting old, aging. Then is it the only oral medication, not skin medication, that is indicated for aging? Then really this is like Sandy says, it's a miracle. It's something
It's a
that we do
miracle.
not have to defend. Then only to let you know that you will change many lives, okay? Let's go on. I do have a question about the causes of autism. My name is Laura, and my son is 29.
I see that.
Severe sorry?
I see that one, Dr. Scholcoff.
Oh, okay. Then I was invited by Lisette. Well, I can tell you it will get better, but not as much as if you will have if you will give him 1920 when he was 4. Well, in Canada it was 1996 when it was approved to sell in Canada. This is not that we have 6 cases. There's hundreds of people that understand about immunocount. Let me turn on my light. Please do some Facebook videos in English. I do have videos that you can steal from my Facebook. Use it without any concern. I can tell you I have a lot of guiltiness because this was in the States in 1997. You know how many families I used to treat. I'm the associate professor of clinical family medicine. Then I will be consulted in kids that has autism. And there was something in the PDR that we can use that increase the glutathione in each cell of the kid that has autism. Then do not think, and many more, I can tell you, many more diseases you will find. I will do videos anytime I TikTok now, 70 years old, professor of 3 universities, and I TikTok. Because it's the only way, truly, the only way to get to all the pediatricians. Sooner or later, some pediatrician has a kid that has problems. Say, well, I will try to take a look. No, thank you, Sandy. It was a good meeting. What I say sometimes for the people in Spain, I do it for the paella. Yes, I'm doing it to to get together in Alberta. And truly, we make here friends. People do not understand sometimes that we do this and we get together in meetings and so on, and we enjoy a lot each other. Then what I want people, if do not ask me to get into my net. You can steal what you want. You will have several things. Some YouTube things, they get it down because I mentioned sometimes the COVID shot and they highlighted. Claudia clean it, but sometimes still they take down. Then download it in your computer and share it with everybody. We have a library of testimonies. We have testimonies that you cannot share in the Facebook because the mother do not want the kid to be in the Facebook. But there are some mothers that are so grateful that they say, I do not care. Let's get to everybody. And I think that good that Doug do not get upset and will be in our meeting for infertility. I think that the next one is infertility, polycystic ovarian syndrome, hirsutism, something that is like that. And we will do it next month.